Hey, what's going on guys, Chadley here, and today I have Danger Close Moze for you. This Moze build is seriously going to make M10 a breeze once you get your hands on the right weapons. It's seriously a ton of fun. I don't normally play Moze all that much, but I've actually really been enjoying this build. And the best part is you don't have to Iron Bear spam or grenade spam. You have plenty of healing without throwing grenades, and you do plenty of damage even without going in and out of Iron Bear. For those bonus elements, obviously for bossing, we're going to want to go in and out of Iron Bear, but for just general mobbing, you do not need to go in and out of Iron Bear. So let's go ahead and start off with our gear, because there's a ton of stuff we can use, but this is definitely some of the best stuff you can use. And then we'll also jump into our modifiers before we get into the skill tree, by the way. So first off, we're going to be using the OPQ system. You guys should probably know by now how strong this new weapon is. And another cool thing we can do with Moze here is once we go in and out of Iron Bear, we'll have some for the road active, and you can switch to the alternate fire mode, which deploys a copy of the OPQ system that flies around at your side and shoots at things. You can shoot as many of these as you can pull the trigger in that 5 seconds of some for the road. So you can get out like 20 to 30 OPQ systems to fight with you, and it's insane. And all of those are going to proc Mindsweeper, which is the class mod we're using. So if they hit a crit, they have a chance of spawning a micro grenade, which is awesome. You guys can create tons of grenades and get those chains going. Also with the OPQ system, we are using Russian offensive. So when those OPQ systems are out and you're sprinting, you're going to be getting lifesteal, and you'll basically be invincible for the most part. Your health is going to go back up in just a blink of an eye. It's awesome. And then now for our second weapon, we're going to be using the Chaosin. This thing is insane for bossing and mobbing. Seriously, whatever you need this gun to do, you can do it. And as long as you have the right element, you're good to go. But for just general use, I find normal damage to be the most effective, as it has some of the highest base damage. Also, a cryo one would be huge. I just don't have one at the current moment, so I would definitely recommend those two. Otherwise, a fire one with the 390 anointment would be amazing as well. That's something else I should mention. On all of our guns, we are using 390. The only one I recommend you don't use that anointment on is the Sandhawk. Unfortunately, this is the only corrosive Sandhawk that I have, but I would highly recommend getting 100 ASE or consecutive hits on your corrosive Sandhawk. This is because for the takedown, a lot of the enemies, the armored enemies that you're going to be fighting with this gun, you're going to be fighting them when they're below that 90% health threshold, so you're not going to be getting really that much use out of this anointment on the Sandhawk. So in the takedown, this is basically like using an unanointed one most of the time, which is a little upsetting. So definitely get your hands on a consecutive hits or 100 ASE if you want like the best results in the takedown. And then finally, our last weapon is the Yellow Cake. This thing, you guys probably know, is an absolute beast. It destroys everything. This is amazing for mobbing and bossing. It's basically the new Norfleet of Borderlands 3. It's insane. Definitely get your hands on the best Yellow Cake while you can. Now moving down to our shield, the Transformer is going to give us our best bet of survivability. You guys can also use like an Old God or a Recharger. Either of those work very well, but I just like the Transformer. I like the absorb chance and turning shock into shields personally, but you guys can make that call yourselves. Also, we are using bonus shock on this. For your shields and grenades, you're going to be using bonus elements. Whatever combo for whatever enemies you're fighting. For the takedown, I always use shock and bonus corrosive. So our grenade, I have a maddening tracker equipped. It's still 53. The grenade really does not matter right now. Grenades don't scale to your mayhem level, so they basically do no damage. All this is going to offer is utility. And I like to just have a maddening tracker in case I really need some burst healing in an emergency. Like if Wotan on True Takedown just starts hitting every single lob shot while I'm moving at 150% move speed with Speed Demon, I can start throwing these and hopefully get a little bit better survivability on top of the lifesteal from Russian offensive. But that's why I use this. Seriously, anything else can work. You guys can use a Hunter Seeker, an Epicenter, all work very well. A Hex, it really does not matter. You guys can also attempt, if you really don't like going in and out of Iron Bear, you can try the on grenade throw anointment. That would work pretty well as well. And if they ever fix on while action skill is active with Moze and her auto bear. Honestly, this anointment with action skill active grenade damage is increased by 150%. Could be absolutely devastating on this build because Minesweeper grenades do count as grenades. So this is something you guys could possibly use in the future if that gets fixed. So I included it in the save file. I wouldn't use it right now until you know for sure that auto bear counts as action skill active. Now, like I said, we are using Minesweeper, and what we're going to be doing with this build is, if you guys aren't aware, Toward Cross Promotion got changed to where it also increases splash damage. At 5 out of 5, it's 30% increased splash damage. So if we get a 5 Minesweeper, it's going to be 60% splash damage, and we actually do have one here in the save file. I got this during the Loot Tank event, and it's insane, but the only negative about this Minesweeper is the splash damage radius it has as a passive. You kill yourself a lot with this one, so I definitely recommend just getting 5 with cross promotion and not have splash damage radius on there on top of it. But if you guys want to go full memes, you're more than welcome to use this. Actually, with Grave Ward, I do like to use this one though, because it's way easier for those micro grenades to hit Grave Ward, as he is like a big target and they like to fall away from him. And then finally, we are going to be using the Pearl with fire rate and magazine size. Definitely your best 2 bets. This is going to help us deal a lot more damage. I also have a Snowdrift in here just for if you guys need to travel somewhere a little bit quicker to go farm or whatever. Now, like I said, with Mayhem 2.0, modifiers are going to be a huge part of builds, whether you like that or not. So I am going to be going over these in all future builds. So definitely keep that in mind. You're going to have to re-roll these. It's going to say how to re-roll it down here, whatever platform you're on. I get that question a lot. Just underneath the modifiers down here, whatever platform you play on, it will tell you what button to press, and you just randomly re-roll. Hopefully in the future, they'll let us pick which ones, so you don't have to just infinitely re-roll. But first off, for our easy, I like to use Speed Demon just because I really do like movement speed. If you guys don't care about movement speed and you just want as much damage possible, get more than OK Boomer, which is going to increase your grenade damage, which is going to affect your Minesweeper grenades. So if you want to just destroy things, equip that easy modifier. But I really do like Speed Demon. It's very nice for surviving. And then for our medium, I really like Healy Avenger. It helps you with health and shield boosters, and it's super easy to destroy, especially since we are dealing a ton of splash damage in a big radius. So this thing definitely helps you out more than it hurts you. And then for our hard modifier, right now Laser Fair is on. I do not mind this one really at all, but there is a modifier, I always forget the name of it, but it's a little healing drone that flies around and heals enemies. That is going to be the one you want for the hard modifier right now at the time of recording this. It was causing an audio bug, so Gearbox took it out of the game until they fix it. But once that comes back, definitely get that as your hard modifier. And then finally, for our very hard, I do like Buddy System. I tried Holy Crit with Minesweeper, and it doesn't work all that well. You're relying completely on chance if you're going to crit or not and stuff like that. And obviously Roguelite, not very good with this build, as we can fairly easily down ourselves, and we're also Moze, so we're mildly squishy now. So Buddy System's definitely a way to go. I was kind of turned off about this modifier at first, but it's really not that big of a deal, and since we're doing splash damage a lot in a big radius, a lot of the times they just kind of die even without you shooting at them, which is really cool. But if there's just something that is immune, obviously just follow the trail back to the drone and kill that, and you'll be good to go. So starting off here in our bottomless mag skill tree, what we're going to do is we're going to do 5 points into Cloud of Lead for that bonus incendiary damage, as well as not consuming ammo every 4th shot, which is huge. 3 points into Stoke the Embers for more incendiary damage. 1 point into Redistribution for the ammo regen and also health regen, which is really cool to see. Then we're going to do 5 points into Scrappy. This got changed, so now this boosts weapon damage. So we get 30% extra weapon damage. And the weapon swap speed is actually huge because we do swap weapons fairly often. 1 point into Russian Offensive. This is a very important skill now. It's going to give you guys a ton of survivability. It's going to give you 8% lifesteal. And right now, this is obviously kind of scaled to non-Mayhem. So right now, our guns in Mayhem 10 are dealing an insane amount of damage. So 8% of an insane amount of damage is still an insane amount of healing. So in just a couple shots, you guys can be at full health again, as long as you're dealing damage while you're sprinting. And then we're gonna do 5 points into scorching RPMs for the fire rate and also the critical hit damage. With Minesweeper, you guys are gonna be aiming for critical hits, and the bonus crit damage is going to boost our Minesweeper damage, because the grenades that spawn, they take the damage that spawned them and scale their damage off of that. So the more damage you do, the more damage the Minesweeper grenade will use. And that brings me back to the 390 anointments that we have on most of our weapons. This is because when you're shooting at shielded enemies or anybody who has like more than one health bar, through that entire health bar above the bottom one, whatever that bottom one is, whether it's health or armor or whatever, you're going to be dealing that increased 300% damage, and that's going to in turn increase the Minesweeper damage. So then once you hit that threshold of 90%, those Minesweeper nades that you created before are still going to be dealing that extra damage, and it's going to allow you to just tear through that last 90% of that enemy, even though now your gun is not dealing that much damage anymore. The Minesweeper nades will finish them off almost every single time. And then we're going to do 3 points into Iron Bank. We don't need that much magazine size, especially since we are using click click. We're going to want that gun damage boost more often, so this is definitely going to help us out with just having only 3 in there. Then we're going to do 1 point and some for the road for the OPQ system, and also just spamming all of our shots coming out of Iron Bear, which is huge, especially with the Sandhawk. And then finally 1 point into Forge. And over here we're going to do 5 points into Fire in the Skag Den. We have 1 point from our class mod. We're going to do 1 point from Grizzle just for a little bit of cooldown. 3 points into Means of Destruction for the ammo chance and grenade chance. 5 points into Toward Cross Promotion, because like I said, it does get boosted by splash damage. So as you can see right now with 9 out of 5, it's 54%. And it's only a 27% chance to double the splash damage radius. That part's not really that important. And but as long as you guys keep your distance from the target you're shooting, just adopt that playstyle, you guys will almost never kill yourself anymore. And even if you guys manage to, just pull out the yellow cake and you'll easily get a second wind, I promise. And then Stainless Steel Bear, this is going to boost short fuse for us. 3 points into Pull the Holy Pin for the critical hit chance on our nades. This is basically a must for Minesweeper. 1 point into Auto Bear. 2 points into Vampire, just because our Minesweeper nades can give us some health back when they spawn and hit an enemy, and if we need that emergency healing from our grenade, we can also use a little bit of this to go ahead and get some health back. And then 1 point into Explosive Punctuation, because all of our guns are going to be doing splash damage, and we're obviously using short fuse, so it's going to help us get our Iron Bear back super quick. And then 1 point into Short Fuse, because this skill is awesome, deals a ton of damage. So yeah guys, that's the entire build. Let's go ahead and run through True Takedown, and I'll walk you through how to play it and kind of like the distances you need to stay from people so you don't accidentally kill yourself. All right, we're about to enter the takedown here. Hopefully that guy will die. There we go. I do like to just start going in there with an Iron Bear just so I can easily take out these War Dogs. And then this is usually about the distance you really need to stay with the KOs in. Otherwise, with the OPQ system, you're going to want to stay a little bit more. Every couple shots when it deals that explosion and shock damage, it's definitely a pretty big explosion, and if you get cross promotion proccing on it, it's probably going to down you. So I definitely recommend staying a little bit further back when using the OPQ. But something like this distance, you guys will be more than safe. And as you can see, we are just demolishing people here in True Takedown. And once you get those Minesweeper chains going, it's seriously ridiculous. And then the Sandhawk, I really don't use it unless I need to just kill a straight armored thing, like maybe a buddy system. I will take out every once in a while, or one of these battle hounds. That's really all I'll use this gun for. And then obviously on Wotan with the anointments that I mentioned earlier that I could hopefully have in the future, I will have obviously a download link for save file in the description. But if you guys want updated ones in the future, make sure to join the Discord. Over there is where I update all of our builds as we get more and better gear. So definitely go ahead and join that. Also, if you guys need help getting any of the gear for this build, there's a ton of people over there in the trading chats to help you get the gear you need, no matter what platform you're on. But right now, we are ready to go kill the Kraken. So I like to obviously hop into Iron Bear and get a little bit closer to him with this. And unfortunately, this is actually the first time I've seen the Kraken be immune with the buddy system. But if you have the yellow cake out, it really doesn't matter. I accidentally killed myself right there. But we'll just pull out the KOs in and kill that Dash Commando. And we're good to go. So we're going to go ahead and fight our Valkyries here. I like to just start with Iron Bear. And the easiest way is obviously just going to be the yellow cake. The OPQ works very well at taking out their shields as well. But for these groups, I do like to kill them pretty quick, so I'll just pull out the yellow cake. I don't know what Hildir is doing right now. Otherwise, we can just destroy the groups that spawn in just a second. And then I will go pull out our Sandhawk and go in and out of Iron Bear for each of these guys, just so we can deal a ton of damage. Really helps us out. And right there, you could see the damage start to fall off once we got below that 90% threshold. That's why I really recommend consecutive hits or 100 ASE. That will help you guys out in the long run, I promise. We're on a Hildir here. He doesn't have any shields left anyways from the start with the yellow cake. I'm just going to pull out the Sandhawk just like I did before. And he's going to go immune in just a moment. Right now my health is low, so I'm going to pull out the yellow cake and shoot it and start sprinting. And as you can see, it just immediately jumps to full. I could be at 1 HP and it will do that. So if you guys are low on health, definitely adopt that. Otherwise, for Rhoda here, I'm just going to use the yellow cake because it actually turned around and was perfect for me to hit the crits. Otherwise, we're going to just use the yellow cake on these guys so we can kill them pretty quick. And then we'll have the final phase of Valkyries. I do like to just use the Sandhawk on them, even though they are below that 90% threshold. With the right one, it would work even better. But even without it, you guys are still going to try. I like to focus Sigdrifta just because the shock damage that he does is insane. Otherwise, Hildir and Rhoda aren't really going to stand a chance. If you can hit crits, you're going to obviously proc those Minesweeper nades and deal even more. So guys, like always, I cannot go any farther or else this video is going to be 2 hours long. For the bridge, just use the yellow cake and the KOs in. Also, the OPQ, I would use this on the bridge with the alternate fire and some for the road. Just spray those out and then switch to the KOs in or the yellow cake. And just focus the Death Spheres or Jetpack Commandos first, and then the Battle Hounds and then everybody else. Once you do that, you guys will have no issue. And Wotan, just go ahead and use the yellow cake and the Sandhawk and you'll be good to go. But guys, thank you so much for watching Danger Close Moze. I've seriously never had this much fun with a Moze build. Just overall a really good time, and it's a fun way to play Moze, especially with these recent changes. Definitely really helped her out. So if you guys enjoyed the build, make sure to leave a thumbs up on it to let me know. If you guys want to see more Borderlands builds or anything Borderlands in general, make sure to subscribe. We post videos almost every single day. Also, go ahead and go down in the description. Check me out on Twitch. We're almost at Twitch partner. We've been having a really good time over there and would love to see some more review guys there. But once again, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. See ya.